Echo is finally out and it was painfully average. Going into this, I didn't have the highest of hopes because a lot of the MCU shows are very hit or miss, but I try to keep an open mind. The first 30 minutes of the first episode is literally just a recap from the Hawkeye TV show mixed with some new footage. I will say they picked a perfect actress to play a young Echo because they look a lot alike. Echo herself is an alright character, but she can't really hold a show as a lead on her own. She's just really not that all interesting, and it's kind of hard to like a character who can't really speak. On top of that, she doesn't have much of a personality, and for the most part, she always has a stank face on. It would be different if she had a good supporting cast to bounce off of, but in this case, she doesn't. There are plenty of mute and quiet characters done well in movies, TV shows, and video games, but she's unfortunately not one of them. They also like to keep on reminding us over and over again that she is an amputee with only one leg. Like when she gets on the train, she conveniently rips the pant leg of her amputee leg, and she also gets her leg damaged, and it happens to be the amputee leg. There's just so many shots that revolve around just her leg. I don't mind that she has a fake leg at all, but it was just weird that they kept on reminding us so much in the show. Daredevil shows up in a flashback in the first episode, and that was it for him. He doesn't even really fight or act like Daredevil would either, and judging by his costume, this is probably around season 2 of the Netflix show, I'm guessing, because they did say that it is canon. The whole fight scene with her and Daredevil was alright, but it just felt unfinished. I also really didn't like that they were trying to do another single take fight scene. In my opinion, Kingpin was poorly written in the show. He was acting like a girlfriend who just wants their abusive boyfriend back and will do anything to do it. Like she shot him in the face, is going after his business and blew up his stuff, yet all he does is want her back. I get it, he raised her as a child, but dude, get a grip. I did like Echo's grandpa or whatever relationship that he has with her grandma. He was a really cool character. I did find it weird how so many people conveniently knew American Sign Language. I get they want to be more inclusive with the show, and I'm perfectly fine with them having American Sign Language in the show. It's cool, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like her immediate family made sense, but everyone else, no. Plus, it's been 20 years since she's been back, so I feel like most people would have forgotten how to sign since they probably haven't been doing it. I also found it weird when some people signed to her, they were completely quiet, but then other people would do it to her and they would talk at the same time. I honestly preferred the latter. In the second episode, we get a flashback to 1200 AD where they're playing this game. The red team is up by a lot of points until this big dude who wasn't playing for some reason comes out. Apparently the winner of this game gets to stay, and whoever loses, they gotta leave. Which, if that's the case, shouldn't the blue team have wanted the big dude out there in the first place? That's like having Michael Jordan not come out to play until the fourth quarter. The scene just felt very pointless, much like almost every single Ancestor flashback. Wasted a lot of time and really did nothing for the show. Like if they wanted to show her whole Ancestor thing because of her powers, they could have done it in one episode with just it being like a montage. I liked seeing the dude who plays William Knifeman from Reservation Dogs.
William Knifeman.
It's just sad that he was only in 2 episodes and he's pretty underused. Biscuit is kind of overly the comedic relief character in this. Like he doesn't really act normal at all, and he's more so just goofy and kind of a spaz. Most of the episodes felt really short because they kept on having pointless flashbacks. There wasn't enough story building, character development, or anything to really keep me invested. Like her goal is to become Queen Pin, but that point gets dropped so quick in the show. She never tries growing her operations, she has 0 followers. Heck, she was more like the Queen Pin in the Hawkeye show than she was in this show at all. I mean, at least in that show, she had goons following her. All she did was blow up Fisk's warehouse, and that's pretty much it. I don't know how you're gonna grow an empire off of just that. Also, for whatever reason, they virtually gave her Black Panther's King of the Dead powers from the comics, where she can access the powers of her ancestors. Which is really dumb. She's just supposed to have really good photogenic reflexes. I don't know why they had to give her these superpowers, and they don't even really explain how they work either. Plus, it's not like any of the ancestors they showed was really good at anything. Like the Wild West ancestor was only an okay shot, and the only reason she killed all those dudes was because she ambushed them and they didn't even see her pop up out of nowhere. The other 2 ancestors really didn't do much of anything, and her mom can randomly heal. In the 5th episode, she's wearing this like black and red costume with like a gun holster on. I personally think that's her coolest outfit throughout the whole show. I just don't like that they made her switch into a more Native American outfit that her grandma made in the end. I just don't think it looks good or fit her character's aesthetic at all. I'm also mad they didn't add her iconic white handprint to her face, which is such an easy detail to add. But it also is a super important detail to her story, at least from the comic books. Echo does a lot of pointing her gun in this show, but she really never uses it. The only halfway decent fight in this show was during the roller ring. Other than that, a lot of the action was kind of bland. For it being TV MA, it didn't really feel like it other than the one time the guy got shot. The fight scene in the barn in the very last episode was so lame. So she was able to give her family members the powers of her ancestors so they could kick butt, I guess. But also, for whatever reason, Kingpin's men were just standing around waiting for this to happen. I really didn't like how quickly the last episode wrapped up at all. I just didn't really feel like much was going on. I get it, Kingpin really wants her back, so she kidnaps her family members to draw her in, but it was just lazy to me. The last episode just really gave me CW vibes, and it was just pretty bad. Like, we didn't get a cool big fight scene at the end, no really good payoff at the end. Like, what is next for Echo? I don't know, nor do I really care, to be honest. In all, the show was boring, the characters weren't really cool at all, and it had very meh action. This is why I give Echo a 5.5 out of 10. If you guys like this review, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that follow button. And as always, thanks for watching.